Hey everyone, it's Mari. I have a project for the JustNick digital cut file design team today, and I'm going to be using this lovely heart background 8 cut file. Now right away here, you're going to see what the cut file looks like once I have it all cut out. And I'm going to be scrapping this adorable photo of Bailey and one of her best friends. Her nickname is Marv, which is short for Marvelous, and I love the picture of the two of them. It's just so sweet. And the theme over at JustNick this week is a love theme, and that's perfect for this heart background 8 cut file. Now I cut this from some American Craft textured cardstock, and I wanted to just use the hearts around the outside edge. Now what I could have done is cut out or released those center hearts, but when I first created cut the cut file out, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. So you'll just see that I end up using the whole cut file. Now I'm going to take my fine line bottle, and I've got some quick dry adhesive in here. I'm going to apply some of that to the back of each of the hearts around the outer edge of the cut file, and I'm going to back each of those hearts with some of the pattern paper from Jen Hatfield and Pebbles Along the Way collection. I'm mostly going to be using the 6x6 papers to back the hearts on the outer edge or on the periphery of the cut file, and I really like how this creates kind of like a little frame for the matted photo that's going to be on the center or inner part of this cut file. So now that I've got that adhesive on that one heart here, I'm just going to show you, I'm just going to demonstrate how I back each of these heart cut files in that same way. So I'm just going to press down on that cut file. Now that it's got the adhesive on the back of it, I'm going to adhere it to this patterned paper, which, like I said, is from the 6x6 pad from Along the Way. I love how some of those papers have the gold foiling on them, and this one is black, you can see, with some really sweet little birds, and I love how this just goes with the rest of the layout that I'm going to be creating here. So now I'm just taking my Cutter B scissors, and I'm just trimming off the excess paper, from around the edge of that cut file. You can see that I'm just turning my cut file here just so that I can really get in there and cut off all of that excess paper that I don't want. I'm basically just kind of angling my scissors in behind the edge of the cut file and cutting it in that way. So there's going to be a transition right away here, and I'm going to have backed all of those hearts around the outer square of the cut file. So you'll see that here right away. So there you go. You can see the colors that I've focused on here are the aqua, the pinks, black, and I think that's about it. There's some gold foiling on some of the papers, but not on others. And I love how this is just really soft and pretty, and I feel like it just goes really nicely with the photograph of the two girls. So now I'm going to pop up the outer edge there with some foam adhesive, which I've just adhered onto the backs of some of those heart areas. And now I'm adhering it down to another piece of white cardstock. Now I'm going to trim down that white cardstock eventually here, and you'll see me doing that on camera. I'm going to trim it down about a ½ inch. Now I really love this black polka dot paper. This is like a Swiss dot. That's part of the 12x12 paper pad from Along the Way. And I'm going to use that as an inner mat in the center of this cut file. So essentially, like I mentioned earlier, I am going to be covering up the hearts that are in the center. So I've just taken my pencil and marked where I want to cut this down to. And so I'm going to just put some repositionable adhesive on the back here with my tape runner and get that stuck down. So now I'm going to use the good old mat method. So if you follow me or you followed me for a while, when I use pattern paper, and a lot of it, which I don't do a ton of, but when I do, one design that I really like to use is layered mats. So I like to have a frame around the outside of my layout, and then I like to have more mats as we get down to the photograph. So what I'm going to do, like I said, is I'm going to trim this down eventually to ½ inch. I start off taking a ¼ inch off each of the 4 sides, but once I put that onto that floral green and white paper that you see below my cutter, I realize I want to trim a little bit more off of it. So it's always better to trim it a little bit at a time and see how you like it rather than taking too much off and then, well, you can't add it back on after you've taken it off, right? So once I've got the dimensions that I like, and I have enough of the mat showing as a frame around the outside edge, now I'm going to start working on that inner mat. So the Swiss dot paper, this black and white paper here, is going to serve as the layer for where my photograph is going to go. So I'm going to just get that all centered down nicely here. Once I'm happy with how it's positioned and the centering, I'm going to take my photo and I'm going to get that positioned onto my layout as well. Just sizing that up here, figuring out where I want to position that. And the photograph I am going to mat onto this other 6x6 paper, which is like a cream with a gold foiling pattern that I think is leaves or foliage, that type of thing. This paper was also used to back some of the hearts. And so I'm just repeating that same pattern there. I also used some of that polka dot paper to back the hearts as well. So I like how that looks. And you know, this is going to be really, really simple. I'm not going to do a ton of embellishing on it. And you know, I feel like I say this a lot when I work with Nicole's cut files, but the cut files really do the major work for you on a layout because they're so beautiful and they really are the main piece of embellishing for the layout, and I love how they look around the outer edge of that Swiss dot paper. There's a ton of love themed cut files in the shop. In fact, I think Nicole designed something like 16 this month that mostly are related to a love theme. So make sure you check out the links in the description box below to the shop and check out the blog and the shop and check out all of the different cut files that Nicole has created for the month of February. They're beautiful. Being that this is only the 8th of February, all of the new ones I don't think will be available yet or as of today, but keep checking back during the month and there's just going to be some really fun and gorgeous Valentine's and love themed designs in the shop. Now these foam words or phrases are also part of that same Pebbles collection along the way, and they're gorgeous. They're just beautiful, and I love how that my just sort of like fit right into the curve of the end of the word friend. And so the title is going to be My Friend, and I'm just going to do some really simple embellishing with the along the way ephemera. So that large circle piece on the left is going to be the base for where I put that butterfly. And then that little girl, I just think she's so adorable. And I love how her dress is the same color as Marv's dress. And she's holding flowers, which I thought was so sweet. And that little die cut piece that says Friends Forever is also really sweet. And these layered stickers are so fun, as are these wooden buttons. Like, the collection is really awesome. I love it. So I'm just kind of going through the different little pieces of the collection here and trying to decide what I want to do. As you can see, I put that little wooden button up where the whole of that little banner piece, Friends Forever, is. And I really like how that looks. I think it's super sweet. And all of the little bits and pieces work together well. It's a very simple design, but I think it's very effective. And the reason why is this gorgeous cut file. So make sure you, like I said, check out the link to the cut file shop in the description box below. And I had so much fun creating this, guys. I hope you enjoyed watching. If you did, please be sure to give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you another time. Bye-bye.